Thanks, everyone. Firstly, Mani Napuni Ghana Yata Ana. That means welcome and thanks for coming here on Ghana country. I just want to say thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm here to talk about Flinders University's Reconciliation Action Plan, what we call the RAP. And to start with, I think there's a real varied understanding or interest in reconciliation or Indigenous affairs. So I'm going to try to tailor this talk so everyone gets an understanding of where we're at and the reconciliation process. So to start with, Nicole's already done an acknowledgement of country, but I wanted to explain, as I said, the different understanding of Indigenous affairs, that what an acknowledgement, get my words out right here, what an acknowledgement of country actually is and why we do it. So an acknowledgement of country can be done by anyone. It doesn't have to be done by an Indigenous person, it can be done by anyone at all. And what it does is just a way that we pay respect to that we're on Aboriginal land. So there's no protocols or set wordings. You do it the way you see fit for the setting you're in. So I'd like to do an acknowledgement of country as well. And my acknowledgement of country is on behalf of everyone here. I would like to acknowledge that we are on Ghana land today. This land, this state, this country has always been and always will be Aboriginal land. And we wish to pay respect to our elders, past, present, and emerging. Now on to the reconciliation and an action plan. Firstly, the question you get asked a lot is, what is reconciliation? As I say here, what does reconciliation mean? And I'll get on what the heck is a reconciliation action plan, because I'm sure a lot of people aren't familiar with what they are. So first of all, reconciliation means different things to different people. I'm sure if I asked 10 different people here, or what does reconciliation mean to you, I'll get 10 different answers. But they all share a common theme, that you're working towards a common goal to reconcile Indigenous and non-Indigenous Australians. But it's very varied on what it means to each and every one of us. From my point of view and where I come from, these are the things when I think about reconciliation and what it means to me. Firstly, it's about strengthening relationships between Indigenous Australians and non-Indigenous Australians, and working together for the benefit of everyone. It's also about creating equality and closing the gap, and that's closing the gap between Indigenous Australians, the incarceration rates, the life expectancy, and a lot of metrics that we need to work a lot better on between Indigenous and non-Indigenous Australians. It's also about understanding and respect, respecting the culture, respecting the way the connection to land the Indigenous Australian people have, just understanding that. And lastly, it's an ongoing journey. It's not like, oh, if we do this, we're going to be reconciled. It's an ongoing journey, and it's an understanding of that it's not just one single measurable KPI that we need to meet to be reconciled. That's what I understand reconciliation is. And if we move on now to, as I said there, what the heck is a reconciliation action plan? So a RAP, if you're not familiar with it, in simple terms, a RAP is a document that provides an organisation, framework for an organisation to support the reconciliation movement. It's overseen by Reconciliation Australia, and organisations, as I said, develop a RAP to help support that overall national movement. It contains practical actions to help drive organisations' commitment to reconciliation. So within a RAP, the organisation develops a document, and as part of that document, there's some actual deliverables and actions that the organisation commits to doing that they're held accountable for. So that's the nuts and bolts of the actual RAP itself, is those deliverables that the organisation will be held accountable to when it's reviewed at a certain time. So, and then the next question when I've talked to people about this is, why do a RAP? What's the point? Like, can't we just do enough without a RAP? And what I say to that is quite simply, it holds the organisation, as I said before, holds the organisation accountable towards that path to reconciliation. It's one thing saying you're going to do something. It's another thing saying we are going to do it, and I'll be held to account by these deliverables and actions that I agree to. So that's why Flinders University chose to do it. Now, in terms of a reconciliation action plan generally, Reconciliation Australia promotes 4 different types of RAPs. for depending on where organisation is on their reconciliation journey. And I'll quickly go through those 4 types of RAPs. I think it's important to understand each of them and where Flinders sees itself. The first type of RAP they call a reflect RAP, and it's a starting point for organisations and helps determine where the organisation wants to go on their journey, and it's usually a short-term 12-month document. The second type of RAP is an innovate RAP. It's for organisations that already have some existing structure around reconciliation but want to engage staff further and develop further strategies, and more of a short to medium term document. The third type of RAP is a stretch RAP. It's where organisations are further down the track, and it's about continually improving their reconciliation goals and actions they have. And the fourth type of RAP is an elevate RAP. And that's for organisations that are already leaders in the reconciliation area, and they've got a strong want for social change and building stronger relationships. In terms of Flinders University, we developed an innovate RAP. Working with Reconciliation Australia, we've developed the innovate RAP, and that's where we see Flinders University on this journey. Next, the RAP map is what I've called this. It's I just want to document the journey that Flinders University went on to get to the point now that we've got a reconciliation action plan. So from a timeline perspective, if we start back on March last year, Colin Sterling sent an email saying they're looking to start this journey, who would like to be part of it. And reconciliation is something I'm passionate about, so I put my hand up and was able to join the working group that worked towards developing the document. From there, between May and November last year, the working group and the steering committee, the RAP working group and steering committee met half a dozen or so times officially to discuss the RAP, discuss what actions, deliverables, to help start to put the document together. And then in July last year, we held all of Flinders workshop where everyone at Flinders, Colin Sterling sent another email saying just staff or students would like to be involved. And that was really exciting in that all the people in the working group got to help facilitate that day. And it was really, really powerful day. I was in this room actually, and the thoughts and ideas that people came along with was inspiring. It was really great to see the passion for reconciliation there. And a lot of the ideas that came from those workshops were incorporated into the final RAP document, which is the whole intent of that. And then through May to December was a period where we went through, I think there were 15 RAP iterations all up and refining the document and changing things and incorporating new ideas. And then it got sent off to Reconciliation Australia and gets sent to them, and they certify the document to say, it's now certified, you're working towards these actions and goals you've said. And then on June the 1st this year, it was officially launched. They had an online launch, obviously because of the COVID. We couldn't do it any other way, so it was done online. And then the question is, where to now? It doesn't stop, as I said before, it's an ongoing journey. We've now got a RAP document where there's actions and deliverables that Flinders Uni has agreed to be held accountable to. Review that in a couple of years and maybe move to a different RAP or a new RAP, or go back and make sure we are achieving those goals. In terms of the actual Flinders University RAP, the actual document, it's available on the web on our intranet with a whole lot of information there. That's the front cover of the document. And the document, it has an introduction. It outlines the business Flinders is in, the history of Indigenous engagement with Flinders and students and staff, and explains why we're doing it like we talked before. So there's a whole lot of stuff that goes on to start it. And reading through it, there's some themes I think you can take out of the RAP document. The togetherness and inclusion, Indigenous and non-Indigenous people coming together to achieve that reconciliation goal. There's that respect, respecting of the Indigenous culture and their, their commitment to the land and everything. And then there's also the acknowledgement in the document too. And I think the acknowledgement is a really powerful thing where people can actually acknowledge the things that are hard to talk about, that racism still exists, the life expectancy inequality, incarceration rates, the loss of land, stolen generation, all those things. It's just that acknowledgement that it happened, it exists, and we need to close that gap. And then, as I said, there's at the end of the document, it lists a whole bunch of deliverables and actions that the university will be held accountable for, and that's what we strive to achieve, the whole idea of the RAP. And those deliverables are split into 4 objectives or 4 areas: relationships, respect, opportunities, and governance. And what I thought I'd do quickly is go through each of them and just highlight a couple. Like in the relationships objective, there's about 15 to 20, 25 different actions and deliverables that universities agreed to be accountable for. There's a single person or a group that's accountable for it, and when it's going to be reviewed. And I just wanted to go through a couple that I think, as staff here at the university, we can try and incorporate in everyday life to help Flinders achieve these goals. So, first of all, the relationships area. A couple of actions that I grabbed from there that I think we could all look at doing. The first one, it encourages staff to participate in National Reconciliation Week events. That's just something simple that we can do. The other one was help develop strategies to engage staff in reconciliation. That may just be talking at meetings, might be doing acknowledgement country before your meetings, just so people are engaged and have a lot better understanding. The next objective area was respect, and a couple of the actions I took out of there that we can all help try and incorporate. Well, the first one is cultural learning opportunities. Look at if it's appropriate to do cultural awareness training in your area. And then also explore the chance of engaging traditional owners or custodians of the land to perform a welcome to country. A welcome to country can only be performed by Indigenous people of that land. And a good example here would be we have great IDS summer series barbecues. And personally, I think it'd be fantastic to invite a traditional Kaurna elder to come and do a smoking ceremony or welcome to country. I think that'd be really powerful and really exciting. The next one is opportunities. Under this objectives, some of the actions I thought that we can all be involved is develop an Indigenous procurement strategy. Now, we might be able to influence that directly, but indirectly we can see if there's a First Nation supply chain that we can be part of or incorporate. As I said, some of these things we just can't do directly. We don't have the influence or the power to do, but you can do things indirectly, and I think that's something we definitely can. And the other one is help achieve the target of Indigenous Australians representing 3% of the full-time staff here at the university. That's also in the current Flinders EB. So it is obviously important to the university to try and reach a goal. Again, you might have the ability to influence that directly, but obviously it's something you can think about and discuss and just make people aware of that. And the last one was about governance. And some actions around the governance. One action that I think is really simple we could all do is engage staff in the delivery of these RAP commitments. And that could be download the RAP and have a look at it, read through some of the actions and deliverables that Flinders University has agreed to be accountable for, and just discuss them and talk about them. That's how you engage your staff, and then see something that you can do in your teams or your areas. So I'd really encourage you to, especially that governance one, to do that. Download the RAP and just have a read of it, a browse through it, look at it, and see what you can do. So in saying all of that, I just want to say Nachalia, which is thank you in Kaurna. That's it. Thank you very much.